right, we'll get started here with head coach Phil Neville. He wants to start us off with questions.
Phil, earlier in the week you asked for more goals from your center backs, but will you settle on a goal in stoppage time from your defensive midfielder?
Yeah, and I think big shout out to Shannon Murray, Dave Vandenberg. That was rehearsed set play. I think the last couple of games you've been asking questions about set plays, and I think I always think in the most crucial moments is when you've got to trust set plays, or you've got to trust each other's technique, the movements, and I think the execution. And when you take a set play, it's not just the delivery, it's the movements, it's the blockers, it's 3 or 4 things have to work for David Ayala to arrive in that spot. And everyone will praise David Ayala for his finish, and rightly so, but there was unselfish runs from Mora, from Zuparic, from Miller, from Fernandez, that all took everybody in, and it was a brilliantly executed goal. And really a goal worthy to win the game. And you look at the first goal from Anthony, a goal worthy to win the game. Now, there was parts of the game where I thought we were lucky. First half for me, was unacceptable. But after the drinks break, we gained some control. We stuck to our game plan, and then we started to play the way that we needed to play. We knew that they were going to be difficult. We knew that, they had a really good system, good players, but we also knew that we were fitter. I say fitter. We were used to playing on the turf in this weather, and I thought the substitutions made a massive impact in the game.
Hi, Phil. Perfect timing, because I want to talk about substitutions.
Yeah.
And particularly kind of from the heat perspective. As a delicate ginger, I worry about sun and heat stroke all day, who's sunscreening the boys, but also how that goes strategically into your decision to make substitutions. Forey was on a yellow, but he stayed in. So if you can just kind of talk about how the heat changes your strategy.
Well, I think what helps is the drinks break, because just before the drinks break, we were thinking of making a double substitution in centre midfield. We got to that point where we thought, would we need fresh legs? Diego was chomping at the bit. The 3-4 minutes in the drinks break, what that allowed us to do is almost like get them over, get them some refreshments, get some nutrition, and then they could go again. And that's what happened. I thought David Acosta was a little bit fatigued. Omir came in and did a fantastic job again. And we'd planned all week, we'd discussed all week a game plan for this, how to handle it, the nutrition, the fluids on board. It was difficult conditions. It was difficult in the shade. You must have felt it up in the box, and imagine I look in the second half with Juan and Santi out there. They were the ones that I was most worried about, because they was in the sun. But the fit boys, we train them hard for these moments. Sometimes I always think you've just got to push yourself through those limits, and when these boys push themselves beyond their limits, I think they always tend to come up good.
All right, Coach. That's the 3rd consecutive game in which you've allowed the first goal at home. Just what are you seeing specifically from the first half that it was unacceptable today, because it seemed like some of the attacking patterns of play just were absent?
Yeah, well, I think you've got to give them credit. I think they were aggressive and they had a game plan, and but I said my first thing I said to them at 2:30 in the team meeting today was a slide of the sun and a ball, and that was going to be our best friend. Keep possession of the ball, enjoy the ball, and I felt as if we were just too eager to thinking we were just going to come out and just roll them over. And I remember last year we came into this game and we had that. I never forget, we had that same feeling that it was going to be easy, and then we were 3-1 down, and I had that same feeling today after about 10-15 minutes. So the drinks break got us back to some kind of structure. The players weren't playing to the structure that we'd coached them, and I think the first thing that happens when you're fatigued or you're dehydrated or whatever, the heat, is that you lose a little bit of concentration. So we just had to regroup them. After the drinks break, I thought we were in control of the game, but we weren't creating that much. I thought, but they had some confidence, and they obviously had the goal as well. So we won the game. I think the last 2 games have shown another side to us that is really important in the long run, is that the ability to come back from being a goal down, suffer some adversity, respond to the adversity. And I've got to say, I think scoring a late goal is for me is better than winning the game 3-0, because it sends everybody, it sends a real strong message to everybody.
Phil, Kevin didn't get on the score sheet today, but throughout the match, his ability to win balls in the air, his hold-up play, leaving something in on a defender, how does that lead maybe into the second half, into wearing the defenders down and allowing other attackers the opportunity to score?
Well, I think Pipe last week did that, came off, and others benefited from it. And the real problem I'm having at this moment in time is that they're really seriously unhappy about, because they want to be on for that period, but they're playing their role massively in the team. I thought Kevin was outstanding tonight. As I said before the game, that I think there's a real strong possibility in the next game or the game after, maybe in the next game, that they both start, because I think they both deserve to start, and that means that we've got to look at that. But they're doing fantastic jobs for the team. And you saw last game when Kelsey came in, the freshness and the opportunities came. Today when Pipe came in, it looked like he had more time on the ball because he was fresh, and the work that Kevin had done before. So I'm proud of them both. They're both handling this rotation really well, and we have a team first mentality, and I think they are epitomising it more than anyone.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thanks.